A Massachusetts teenager accused of influencing her friend to commit suicide now faces charges. Conrad Roy, seen here on the left, was found dead in his car last July, a victim of carbon monoxide poisoning. And now, 18-year-old Michelle Carter on the right is indicted for involuntary manslaughter. Investigators say Roy told her about his plans, but instead of seeking help, she actually encouraged him to take his own life. Brian Yanis joins me now. And Brian, this is a very interesting and rare case here. This case is all centered around a string of text messages between the teens.
Interesting, rare, tragic, and that's exactly right, Julia. The prosecutors say the teens exchanged more than 1,000 text messages in the days leading up to 18-year-old Conrad Roy's suicide. And according to court documents obtained by the Fairhaven Neighborhood News, in those messages, Michelle not only encouraged Conrad to take his own life, she questioned him repeatedly as to when and why he hadn't done so yet, right up to the last moments before he died in his truck. In fact, at one point, police say Conrad got scared, had second thoughts, even exited the truck, in which Michelle allegedly replied, quote, "Get back in."
Instead of attempting to assist him or notify a school official, a counselor, a family member, anyone, Ms. Carter is alleged to have strongly influenced his decision to take his own life.
Since his death, Michelle has tweeted heartfelt messages about Conrad and has even raised money for suicide prevention in his name. And Julie, according to the court documents, text messages to friends that she sent, she said, quote, "They read my messages with him. I'm done. His family will hate me and I could go to jail."
That's really sad. I mean, to imagine that these two teens had a relationship, and of course I'm sure most would never intend for their best friend or close friend to kill themselves. But what is the defense saying about these accusations? Well,
Michelle's lawyer says the text messages are being read out of context, telling me today over the phone, quote, "It was not a death caused by Michelle Carter. It was a suicide, not a homicide. Mr. Roy has had a history of wanting to take his life, and he finally accomplished that, and he did that in his own free will." He said even if she did encourage him, that's not manslaughter, and at least one legal expert says it will be difficult to convict Michelle.
You can't interpret what somebody means all the time via a text message, number one. Number two, let's compare this to some of the cases where someone's on a ledge and there's a crowd below and they're screaming, "Jump, jump." That should also be illegal, but nobody's ever been charged with the actual death of a person who's jumped in that situation.
Michelle was 17 at the time of the crime and is being charged as a juvenile.
Wow. All right, interesting case. Thank you so much, Brian Yanis.